Wait a minute. Okay, what's up, guys? I hope you're having a good time. We are going to start right now, okay? So I'm going to share with you the screen right now. Give me 1 second, please. Okay, great. So before starting the class, we are going to do a quick review of the main topic that we learned last class, okay? Which was, the simple present with some rules. Okay, so how do you ask me, for example, wait a minute. How do you ask me, ¿por qué estudias inglés? How do you ask me that question? How do you think that you can ask me that question? ¿Por qué estudias inglés? ¿Cómo me harías esa pregunta?
Because one.
But first, ask me the question.
Okay, teacher.
How is the question, Caro? How would be the question? Carol, ¿tienes el micrófono apagado? Entonces, si quieres, dilo nuevo.
Teacher, you can repeat me again?
The question is, you're going to ask me the question, ¿por qué estudias inglés? So ask me that question in English.
Why do you study English?
Okay, yeah, why you sorry? And how do you ask me, ¿por qué quieres aprender inglés? How do you ask me, ¿por qué quieres aprender inglés?
Why do you want
Yeah,
to learn English?
okay, it's perfect. To learn English. So, do you remember the difference? How do you say, for example, me encanta enseñar inglés? That sentence, me encanta enseñar inglés.
I love teach English.
Okay, remember that in this case, we say, I love teaching English.
Teaching. Oh.
Yeah, do you remember the difference between a love teaching and a love to teach? Wait a minute, you can say, do you remember the difference between saying,
I love it.
no, between saying I love teaching and I love to teach English on Sundays? I don't know, some on weekends or whatever, on Sundays. So do you remember what the difference? We said that the last class. The last class we explained when to use the to and when to use the verb with ing. Do you remember the difference, the short difference? What's the difference between saying I love teaching to teach?
How do you say relacionado?
It is related. It is related.
It is related about going to.
Well, no, we said
No.
the last class we said that when we have two verbs, we are going to use in two. For example, if you say I need to pay, necesito pagar, I want to travel. So if we have two verbs, we are going to use two. But there are some verbs, like for example, love, like, enjoy, hate, that you can use both. I mean, not in this case both. That you can use I love to teach or love teaching. I mean, you can say I hate to eat vegetables, and you can say I hate eating vegetables. So the short difference is that when we are going to add the verb with ing, it's because we're going to do a little emphasis in the first verb. I mean, I love teaching. We're going to say like short sentences and we focus in the first verb. But what we are going to use to, it was because we are going to talk about our daily routine. Yeah, something that we usually do. For example, I love to teach English on Sundays. But if we want to say I love teaching English, so we say ing. Recuerden que eso es muy importante cuando utilizar el to, eso es cuando utilizar, recuerden que hay verbos que se pone el to, bueno, no, una gran mayoría de verbos, siempre que hay dos verbos se le coloca el to, hay otros verbos que se le coloca la ing al siguiente verbo, pero digamos se puede colocar ambos. Recuerden que esos verbos se puede colocar tanto el ing como el to. ¿Cuál es la pequeña diferencia? Recuerden que eso es cuando queremos hacer como una énfasis en el primer verbo. Por ejemplo, acá me encanta enseñar, me gusta las frutas, como cosas simples y nos enfocamos en ese verbo, me gusta, me encanta, disfruto, eso. Ya cuando queremos decir como cosas ya que hacemos rutinariamente, colocamos el to. Me encanta enseñar inglés los fines de semana, los domingos, cosas así. Entonces es una pequeña diferencia que a la hora del habla la podemos utilizar tanto el to como el ing, pero pues nosotros como docentes tenemos que saber esa diferencia. Pero recuerden que solo pasa con unos verbos. Recuerden que hay unos verbos que solo van con el to. Por ejemplo, aquí yo no puedo decir, okay, here in this case you cannot say I want traveling. No, solo I want to travel. Or there are some verbs like, for example, enjoy. You can say I enjoy listening to music, but you cannot say I enjoy to listen to music. Pero recuerden que hay unos verbos que la mayoría de verbos tenemos que colocar el to en medio, como en este caso, no le podemos poner la ing. Y hay unos verbos que son contados, que yo les envío una imagen justamente del grupo, en los cuales el siguiente verbo tiene que ir con ing, no se puede colocar como I enjoy to listen, quitándole el ing. So, I don't know if you understand that part, no sé si se me va a entender en esa parte. Fue lo que vimos la vez pasada. Yeah. Remember, I can say, for example, I love teaching English. I do love it. I do love it. The same happened here. Remember that we don't usually use I do, but in this case, I can say do because it is related to really. Okay. Bueno, que normalmente el do no va en afirmaciones, pero lo puedo algunas veces reemplazar por el really. ¿Ya? I do hate it. Digamos, I don't like vegetables. I do hate them. Las odio, realmente las odio. So we can say, I really hate them, of course. But in this case, I can say, I do hate them. Not all the time, but you can do it sometimes. Recuerden que este do también se puede utilizar en afirmaciones, tal cual ves, la idea no es abusar de eso, porque va a sonar mal, ¿sí? Solo es para hacerlo tal cual ves y hacer ese énfasis en I do love it, I do hate, es como si dijéramos el really. Pero si lo decimos todo el tiempo, va a sonar súper mal y ustedes hablan con un extranjero y se lo van a decir. Dicen, I do listen to music, I do like, I do... I decir, no, is that correct? Okay, you're not doing it well, So, do you have any question, any doubt? No? Okay, great. Because what is the topic that we are going to learn right now? And it's going to be about the future. But not only the future, we cannot talk only about a future because remember that in English we have 3 different futures. Okay, what have you heard about the future in English? How to say sentences, about the plans that we have, about something that we are going to do in the future. Tell me about that. What have you heard about the future in English? What? Tell me about that.
Future with will.
Okay, future with will. What else?
Going to.
Going to, exactly. And because actually there are 3 futures in English.
Present progressive, teacher, no?
Exactly, present progressive or present continuous. We're going to do some examples with some of them. So first of all, we are going to talk about the going to. Here, I'm going to show you, wait a minute. Okay, here I have a little table about that, the future with the going to. Look at this. So if you want to talk about the plans that you have in the future, you're going to use going to. For example, I'm going to study. Voy a estudiar. Ella va a bailar. She's going to dance. El gato va a beber leche. The cat is going to drink milk. Ellos van a correr. They're going to run. Okay, so we use the verb to be, I am, you are, followed by the going to, and the verb goes normal. In this case, we don't put s, we don't add ing. No, the verb goes normal. It doesn't matter if we talk about I, you, she, or he, okay? So that's the future. I'm going to. And for the questions, it's piece of cake. Because remember that you put the verb to be at the beginning. For example, ¿vas a vivir en Vélez? So we put the R at the beginning. Are you going to live in Vélez? Ella va a bailar salsa music, whatever. So she's going to dance. Ella va a bailar. So we put the is at the beginning. Is she going to dance? Is she going to dance? It's simple. So according to that, how do you ask me? Vas a. How did you ask me? Wait a minute. ¿Vas a viajar al extranjero el siguiente mes? How do you ask me that question? ¿Vas a viajar al extranjero?
Are you going to travel abroad next week, teacher?
Exactly. Okay, that's very good. Abroad. There are some people who don't know this word. Remember that abroad is al extranjero. And next week or next month or whatever. Remember that tomorrow is mañana. And we say next, for example, next week, la siguiente semana o próxima semana, next month, siguiente mes o próximo mes, next year, siguiente año, I don't know, tonight, esta noche. So these are some complements that you can use in this future. So are you going to travel next month or tomorrow or next week or next month? Yeah. And how do you say pasado mañana?
The day after tomorrow, teacher.
Exactly, Jorge. That's good. Yeah, because there are some people who say, I don't know, the tomorrow, or something like that. So if you want to say pasado mañana, you say the day after tomorrow. Como el día después de mañana. So just keep that in mind, okay? The day after tomorrow. So you can say, are you going to travel abroad next month? You can say, yes, I am. Is that the short answer? Or you can say, yes, I'm going to travel. I'm going to travel. Well, the rest, Or negative, no, I'm not going to travel. That's all. Yeah. How did you ask me, for example, I don't know, let me see. Tu sobrina va a ser una doctora, something like that.
It's a question, teacher.
Yeah, ask me that question, yeah.
Repeat, please.
¿Tu sobrina va a ser una doctora?
Okay. Is your niece going to be a doctor?
Exactly, very good. Is your niece going to be a doctor? Exactly, very good. Is because we are talking about third person. So we are talking about she, okay? So in this case, we start with is. Is your niece going to be? I missed the B. Remember, be in this case voy a ser, va a estar, well, in this case va a ser a doctor. Remember that it's not doctor, it's doctor, as Jorge said correctly. So is your niece going to be a doctor? When we talk about professions, we usually use RN. So is your niece going to be a doctor? And that's really simple. Pretty simple. But you can say yes, she is, the short answer, or yes, she's going to be the rest, or no, she's not, or she isn't. No, she's not, or she isn't going to be a doctor. And that's all about the future with going to. I think that this is the most, I don't know, this is really, really simple. Because that's all. Eso yo creo que es de los tiempos más, sinceramente, los tiempos más complicados es como el presente simple por las excepciones que hay en tercera persona, No sé, de pronto el presente perfecto por los verbos se cambian, pero en general, en estructuras es como los presentes simples de los más difíciles, pero el resto es súper fácil. Esto es el going to. That's the going to, that's all. That's all, because we don't have any rules. We don't have any rules that, for example, the simple present, or there are some rules with third person, y no hay ninguna regla. Después del going to tiene que ir normal, no importa si es tercera persona, no va con ese, no con el going to, no es nada más. So do you have any question about this going to?
Teacher, I have a question about the other topic. Why or when we use could be, for example? I can read this expression and use in the future sometimes. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, it depends on what you are going to say, because you can say, I could be a better person in the future. I don't know, I could be a better person in the future. It depends on the things that you are going to say, because yeah, clearly could be a future. Yeah, yo podría ser una buena persona en el futuro. But that's, that's a future, but not like a future. It depends on what you're going to do. Just depende de lo que se vaya a decir. Si yo voy a ser una buena persona, bueno, I'm going to be a better person, una mejor persona. Si usted quiere decir, yo podría ser una buena persona, porque se could, remember that this is the past of can, but also podría. Recuerden que el could es el pasado de can, pero también es podría. Yo podría ser una mejor persona. Entonces ya pues depende como lo que se quiera decir, no sé si me va a entender. Depends on the things that you're going to say.
Yes, teacher. Thank you.
Okay, great. Another question that you have about this going to, it's not really difficult, It's not really. Of course, have you ever heard about gonna? This is very, very important. When do we use gonna? It's very, very common.
Informal.
Yeah, exactly. It is only the contraction of going to. Yeah, I mean, you can say, I'm going to, I don't know, buy, I don't know, pair of sneakers. Voy a comprar un par de tenis. I'm going to buy a pair of sneakers. Or you can say, I'm gonna buy a pair of whatever. That's all. Just gonna es simplemente la contracción de going to. It's muy informal. This is very, very informal. I mean, because if you're in an interview, if you're going to get a job, if you're in an interview, it's not, you shouldn't use this gonna, no? This is more for informal. You're going to use with your friends. So that's all okay. And there is one that is called Aima. Have you ever heard about that Aima? Have you ever heard about that Aima?
I never teaches.
That is like a contraction of contractions. That's very, very, very informal. That Aima is the contraction of gonna. This is very, very, very informal. I don't know, maybe I have heard that in some, like, I don't know how to say that, like not black people, because not black people all the time speak like that, but maybe some rappers. I have heard that Aima in some rappers, because I like to hear some freestyle or some hip hop music, and they use that Aima. That's very, very informal. Entonces, Aima es súper informal, súper informal, que es una contracción más de este gonna, en vez de gonna, pero ya es muy informal, es como para que lo tengan en cuenta ahí, pero pues, solo para tener en cuenta ahí, Aima. Whatever, okay? So now, this going to in gonna is very, very, very used, okay? So, okay, one more. How do you say yo voy a cumplir 31 años en diciembre? Voy a cumplir, o voy a tener, o bueno, voy a cumplir 31 años en diciembre. How do you say that?
I'm going to turn 31 years in December.
Okay, that's a good way. You can say turn, or you can say be. You know, you can use both. I'm going to turn 30 or 31 in December or next whatever. So next December. So you can say I'm going to turn, this is very used, or I'm going to be. Actually, here I have like some examples in this PDF. Like, give me 1 second, please. Where is it? Where is it? It's not here. Okay, it's right here. Look at here. So here we have some examples of this, some activities that, well, students have to do. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, it's right here. So look up here. It's January 1st. How old are these people going to be on their next birthdays? Right sentences. In this case, Alice is going to be 70. Wait a minute, 77 on March 15th. So you can say I'm going to be, Alice is going to be, or you can say turn. It's also very used. But you can also use this to be. Remember that we don't use have or something like that. Okay. So Alex is going to be, I am going to be, voy a cumplir. That's also the that's very, very important because we usually use it. Alice is going to be, I'm going to be. Take that in mind because not many people know that. So that's very, very important. Okay. Give me 1 second. So guys, do you have any question to the moment? Do you have any doubt, any question? Just let me know. Wait a minute. So now my question for you is, what's the difference? Well, and the questions are, wait a minute, the questions are the same, you know? I don't know this table here, because if you're going to use WS questions, it's exactly the same. So you only put the WS question at the beginning, that's all. So how do you ask me, ¿dónde vas a, I don't know, but we're going to use another one. ¿Cuándo vas a arreglar el carro? How do you ask me that question? ¿Cuándo vas a arreglar tu carro? How do you ask me? How do you ask me that question?
When are you going to fix the car?
That when are you going to fix the car? Exactly. So I don't have that table here. I thought that I had it, but no, I didn't. Just give me 1 second because it is exactly the same. Do you remember that when we learned present continuous or the simple present, we learned that if we are going to ask question with WH question, so we put the WH question at the beginning. So that's exactly the same with this. Going to WH question structure. Yeah, exactly here. Wait a minute. Prácticamente todos los tiempos tienen, digamos, esa misma estructura. Que aprendemos la estructura y si queremos hacer preguntas con la WH question la ponemos al principio. That's all. ¿Qué vas a leer? What are you going to read? ¿Por qué vas a cocinar? Why are you going to cook? ¿Por qué? ¿Cómo él va a dormir? I don't know. How is he going to sleep? That's the same. Yeah. So do you have any question about this? Or another, the final question. How do you ask me, ¿con quién vas a dormir esta noche? How do you ask me that question? How do you ask me, ¿con quién vas a dormir esta noche? Take a look.
Who are you going?
Caro, yeah.
Who are you going to sleep tonight or no? As a sleep?
Okay. Who are you going to sleep
Sleep tonight?
Okay. You only have to add one more word. Falta que una cosita ahí rápida.
Who are you going to sleep with tonight or tonight with? I'm not sure, teacher.
It is exactly the same. We can say, who are you going to live with tonight? So we usually put the
Yes.
Okay.
so look at this. So this is more
Okay.
common because usually the complement goes at the end. So who are you going to sleep with
Mhm.
tonight? So remember this with. So like, ¿con quién
Okay.
vas a dormir? ¿Para quién vas a trabajar? Remember that kind of questions use it like that. Who are you going to work for? Something like that. ¿Para quién vas a trabajar? Remember that when we are going to ask question with whom, we usually put the preposition at the end, okay? With whom, well, it only happens in the question now because who are you going to sleep with? I am going to sleep with, I don't know, or alone or with my couple or with my fiance or whatever, my girlfriend, okay? That's all about the going to. Maybe you already know this, this tense. But now, what about what's the difference between going to and will? What's the difference? When do we use going to? When do we use will? What's the difference between saying I am going to run or I will run? When do we use going to and when do we use will? When do we use it is going to rain or it will rain or it'll rain? So when do we use that? What's the difference?
Teacher, when we use going to, it's because we already have a plan, something that we have thought to do before. Yeah, you have a plan for doing that activity, and will is used more for prediction. I mean, you are not sure if it is going to happen or not.
Exactly, Jorge. That's very, very good. And that's the difference. And actually, I remember that when I
But
was
when you are not sure about something,
exactly, when you're not sure. But you know what? When I was at the university, I had one teacher, it was in the second semester, I think so. One teacher told me like, going to is yo voy a correr. I will run is yo correré. And a teacher told me that, and
mm,
I believe that, but no, it's not true. It's not true, no. And he told me that, and I started to look for that information. Of course not. The real answer is what Jorge just said. Okay, so the going to is when we are talking about the plans that we have. For example, if I'm going to travel next week and I already bought the tickets and I'm sure that I'm going to travel and say I'm going to travel next week. But if I say, for example, I'm going to travel next year to San Gil, but maybe, I don't know, maybe yes, maybe no. So will is, as Jorge said, this is a prediction. It's something that may happen or not. Something that can happen or not, ¿ok? Ya saben, la diferencia entre estos dos es que el going to es para los planes que tenemos, planes que ya están premeditados, y el will es un futuro que puede que pase, puede que no. For example, I'm going to run tomorrow with my best friend. I don't know. Yo voy a correr mañana con mi mejor amigo. Ya es un plan que ya lo tengo acá. Yo correr mañana, o yo voy a correr mañana. I will run tomorrow. I don't know, maybe I'm going to invent one question, one sentence. Tomorrow, if I'm not lazy. Voy a correr mañana si no tengo pereza, algo así. Se me acaba de correr. Entonces, el will es un futuro que puede que pase. But there is another thing that you gotta keep in mind, okay? Because, okay, before this one, so what is correct? Well, it depends, no? Because here we can say it is going to rain or it will rain. What do you think about that? Do you think that we can use both, or we can use the first one or the second one? What do you think? It depends on the context. What do you think about rain? Because yeah, we don't know if it's going to rain, no? Or what do you think about that? Which is correct? Which one is correct, or both are correct? Why?
Depends of the context, teacher.
Okay, yeah, but I don't know, give him one example. When do we use like going to or will?
You say, I am going to have a dinner, for example, in this
Mhm.
moment. And will you can use I will dinner in the restaurant tomorrow, for example.
Mhm.
I think that I don't know, teacher, it's fine or
Oh yeah, but no, the question that I was asking is it was about this sentence, because yeah, it depends on the context. Going to is for the plans that I have. Yeah, will is a future that may happen or not. But what about this question? I'm sorry. I wrote it really bad. You know, it was wrong. So it is going to rain, or it will rain. What do you think that is correct, or both are correct? I mean, but only about this sentence, about these two sentences.
Teacher, well, grammatically, they are both correct, but both of them depend on the context that, let's say, I have at the moment. For example, if I'm talking to you and I say, "Hey, teacher, there are some clouds
Mhm.
on the sky. It's a little dark. I think it is going to rain." Yeah, because I have maybe an evidence about what I'm saying, what I'm seeing. Um, it will rain, for example. I can tell you, hey Wilmer, according to the forecast, it will rain. It maybe will rain tonight, or maybe will rain tomorrow morning. Something like that, teacher.
Exactly. That's exactly the same example that I was going to give you. If you say, for example, look at the clouds, look at the clouds. I don't know, maybe look at the clouds. They're dark. I don't know. So it is going to rain. Esto depende exactamente del contexto de lo que vaya a decir. Wait a minute. Look at the clouds. They're dark. So it's going to rain. Yeah. So that's because something that is going to happen. Yeah. But also, well, will is, as Jorge said, it may happen or not. Maybe, I don't know, someone said that it will rain tomorrow. It will rain tomorrow, something like that. Okay, that's exactly. It depends on the context. It depends on the things that we're going to say. That's correct. But will has another meaning. And will is that when we are going to do something immediately. Yeah, for example, if I say, I am thirsty, I am thirsty. I drink, or I will drink a glass of water, whatever. Entonces recuerden, sí, claro, el going to es para los planes que tenemos, el will es un futuro que puede que pase o puede que no, pero el will tiene otro uso y es algo que vamos a hacer inmediatamente. Digamos en este caso, tengo sed, estoy sediento, voy a tomar un vaso de agua, ya, ahora, now. Entonces, también el will tengan en cuenta porque va a ser algo así. El will es algo que vamos a hacer inmediatamente. I don't know. In this moment, I have like some examples, but it's something we are going to do a little test, and you will realize about that part. You will know it better. So it's right here. Okay, give me 1 second. 1 second. Okay, it's right here. So you're going to solve this test you're going to tell me what's the answer. I already know the answer, so I'm going to just write them. So we don't have any bread. I know. Give me 1 second. What do you think that is the right answer? I'm going to buy some. I took some. I buy some. I'm going to buy. What do you think about that? Which one is correct? But guys, give me 1 second, please. Ya les envío nuevamente el link porque ya se está acabando acá. Entonces, espérenme. Ya les envío nuevamente el link para que nos vemos.